Hey folks, it's Alex here. It's been a while since I've made a video in this format showing my face and all, but here I am. A shout out to my OG subscribers, and I know I look a little different, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I'm back to making videos about tech and hardware, so stay tuned. I have been uploading some videos about some products that I've been designing, one of those being this external NVMe SSD enclosure, this thing here, but this is currently on hold. But I've decided to focus on other projects in the meantime that I think are going to have a kind of better return on investment in the short term. And one of those being this series of fan shrouds that you're looking at. So these are meant to fit on any standard sized PC fan. These happen to be 120 millimeters, and I've made sure to accommodate for the more commonly used form factors like 240 millimeters and the beefier 360 millimeter format. So you can use these with or without radiators. And in some instances, you can also use them on air coolers too. So my main goal with this project was to elevate the appearance of your PC build. Most fans on the market look pretty much the same with slight variations in color, lighting, and general styling. And I saw this as an opportunity to kind of step it up a notch and create something that's a bit more sleek and aesthetic. I kept the design simple because I wanted it to fit in just about anyone's PC case. I didn't want something that was too obnoxious, and I think this design is simple and it gets the job done. And on top of this, making your PC look better, it also acts as a dust filter too. So included in all of the fans is a stainless steel mesh filter. And not only does this keep dust from getting in your system, but it also allows a generous amount of air to pass through without restriction, without compromising airflow and subsequently temperatures, clock speeds, and performance. Now I fitted a 120 millimeter version of this fan shroud onto my Be Quiet Dark Rock Slim CPU cooler. This is an air cooler, and I found that on average temperatures increased by 1.4 degrees Celsius. However, I found that the increase in temperature didn't have any downsides in day-to-day performance. And I tested this using repeated tests on Cinebench R23. So what you see here are sizes ranging from 120 millimeters, 240, and we have the larger 360 millimeter variant. Now don't worry, there are also versions available for 140 and 240 millimeters. Unfortunately, I don't have a machine that can manufacture a 420 millimeter version, but from my brief research, it seems that most PC builders seem to hover around the 120, 240, and 360 millimeter configurations. Now, I briefly mentioned that I don't have a machine that can manufacture anything beyond the 360 millimeter variant of the fan shroud. These are 3D printed in my workshop. I make them by hand. And these shrouds go through an extensive post-process that consists of sanding, priming, a few coats of color, and a final satin clear coat finish. I find that a satin finish is a nice balance between matte and glossy. It reflects just the right amount of light. Anyways, in terms of color options, you're looking at them here. There is a solid white, a solid black, and a charcoal gray. And I do plan on releasing some other colorways like navy blue, some version of pink, an army green, yellow. And if you guys have any recommendations, be sure to drop a comment down below. I'll definitely take it into consideration. And I haven't mentioned yet, but these are currently available for sale either through my website, which is particlestudios.io, or through my Etsy store. Links can be found in the description down below. Be sure to check them out and perhaps share them with any friends or family that you think would be interested. I'd appreciate that. So I didn't really talk about the pricing in that great detail, so I'm going to clarify that now. So the 120 and 140 millimeter versions will start at $27. And if you want to get the matching steel mesh color, that will be an additional $3, so $30 for the 120, 140. The 240, 280 will range from $45 to $48. And the 360 millimeter version will range from $60 to $63. And please note that this pricing does include the cost of shipping, so shipping is free, and I will include the appropriate amount of M5x10 self-tapping screws. So for the 120, 140, you'll get 4. For the 240, 280, you'll get 8, and 12 for the 360 millimeter version. I want to do a quick little build walkthrough and show you guys how these are installed. Oh, and I forgot to mention, but these are customizable too. So the 3 colors that you see here have mesh filters that are the same color. So this is a solid white color with a solid white mesh. Same thing applies for the black and the charcoal gray. But if you want to get the raw steel, that is going to be $3 cheaper. I will also include some detailed instructions step by step on how to install this. There are two parts to the design. You have the outer cover and you have the fan shroud itself. Let's do the 240 millimeter version. The process to install these is the same for all of them. So how I install it on the 240 is going to be the same on how you install it on the 120 and higher versions. These are just some generic non-PWM fans, 120 millimeters. So you're going to start by laying down the fan shroud. Well, first, making sure that the two fans are next to each other and more or less aligned. They'll align themselves. Lay the fan shroud. Get yourself a Phillips head screwdriver. Take the included screws. Now there is something to note here. If you're going to be installing on a radiator or an AIO, I would recommend looking into the exact size screw that your radiator takes. I've noticed there to be some variation across manufacturers. Some use M3, M4, or M5 screws. So just be sure to check and order the appropriate screws. And one thing I didn't mention, but this is 6.6 millimeters thick, the fan shroud itself, and the outer cover is 3 millimeters thick. Be sure to get the proper length screws, as this is adding some thickness. So if your radiator already comes with screws, they may not fit just because of the added thickness. So just take that into account. These aren't included in the package just due to the variation across manufacturers. In the future, I do hope to add some screws on my website just so it's all consolidated there. Anyways, back to the installation. So you're going to start off by, like I said, aligning the screws, putting the fan shroud over, and you're going to screw in. I'm going to start at this corner, and be sure to apply some generous pressure downward. Don't screw it in all the way. And I'm going to go in a diagonal pattern. Again, applying a lot of pressure, and it automatically aligns. Don't screw in all the way. And that's it. Next, install the outer cover. You just slide it on, and it should kind of snap into place. Now, an important thing to note, I did design these with a positive tolerance of 0.15 millimeters. That was to account for just the different variations in fan sizes. Now, unfortunately, I did notice there to be a lot of variations between different fan manufacturers, with some being around 119 millimeters, not a true 120 millimeters. But generally, I found them to be plus or minus 0.5 millimeters. But in the case that this fits a little looser on your fan, I recommend, and I'm gonna remove this again, applying even pressure on each side, little by little. Ooh. There you go. Did to accommodate for the smaller sized fans, I just added a bit of Scotch tape to each of the 4 corners on the inside of the outer cover. This helps with a snugger fit. It won't move around or rattle when the fans are on. Oh, also, I did include some notches even on the 120 millimeter, 140, all the sizes to accommodate for the fan cables. All this. And there you have it. All that's really left is to install it inside of a case. I'll leave that up to your imagination, but I'll throw up some B-roll and you guys can see how it looks in my case. I happen to have it on an air cooler. It took a little bit of modifying, but I managed to get it on there pretty firmly. But you can install these as just regular fans or on your radiator. You can do pretty much anything with them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this. It feels good to be back. And if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop a comment down below. And if you haven't already, drop a like. And if you're extra cool, share the video with your friends and family. I would really appreciate it. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.